Right, morning everyone. I'm just going to whiz to the allotment to water. I didn't get down there yesterday because I was out all day. So with it being hot, I'm just hoping that everything's going to be okay. Not expecting my celery that I planted the other day to be looking good, but hopefully. It's only yesterday that I missed watering. You just never know because it was hot yesterday. So I'm fingers crossed. I'm just hoping everything's going to be okay, but obviously I won't know until I get there. So we'll have a look when we get there. It's only a couple of minutes away, so I'll speak to you later. So, okay, on the walk down, I have noticed a few bits that are not doing too well. And I did clock my celeries on the way down, which are now non-existent. I had to put them out because they were getting pot bound, but look at them now, they're dead. A bit disappointing, but in this heat, I didn't expect too much. Should have put them at home. Well, I could have kept an eye on them, but I have been down watering every day, apart from yesterday, as I say, but yeah, I think it was just too hot for them this year. Like a lot of stuff, maybe a lot of other people who experience the same problem in this heat with their crop. Maybe even the farmers are, who knows. So, yeah, it's very, disheartening, but you get your ups and your downs on growing your own veg, so just don't expect the weather to be this hot for a few weeks. So, I'll crack on and show you some other stuff. Hopefully it's not going to be as bad, but yeah, anyway, that's that. Okay, so in here I've still got the onions. They don't seem to be getting much bigger, but who knows. Then obviously the peppers and chilies, looks like they've got flowers on them, but they're not getting much bigger. Yeah, lettuces are still doing okay, which I'm picking them quite regular. And then these chilies up here. So I've got a few weeds I need to get out, but I haven't got time to weed today. But if I see a big one, I'll just pull it out as I'm going along. Alright, and then I'm not worried about the potatoes because they're going to be dug up soon. The second lot of potatoes. I think they're called Wilger, or that's how you pronounce it, I don't know. So they're going to be dug up soon. And then in here I've got lettuces and some broccolis and cauliflowers, which don't seem to be getting very big. The lettuces are doing well, but the brassicas aren't. I need to get in there and weed as well at some point, but that's going to be during the week now. And then in here is the cauliflowers. Not doing too great at the moment. The ones that have got the pegs on, they're forming nicely inside, so I've covered them over to stop the light getting into them and the sun scorching them. So yeah, you just fold the leaves over and make sure you're covering them over. And I just use a peg to keep them tied up. I'm going to have to do that to this one because that one's starting to grow. I can see a little bit in that one, so I'm going to have to cover them over. And then here is my broccolis, but they look like they're shrivelling up a little bit, even though they're getting a good water. Yeah, I've got the membrane to help keep the moisture in, but I think it's just so hot where it's just shrivelling up. Can't see any heads on them at the moment, so maybe they'll come a bit later when it cools down a bit, who knows. Sweet corns, well, they're next to nothing. I'm so disappointed with them as well. they didn't germinate, and I didn't have any more seeds, and it was too late anyway to do that. The runner beans are a little bit sparse. They're growing, but something seems to have been eating them. I have got some forming on here, and I think I've got a few to pick. Yeah, so I need to pick some of them before they get too big. But as you can see on here, being eaten by something, and it's not black fly, and I don't know what it is. You can see it's taken all the flowers off, so they're not going to produce any beans. I've got a bumblebee pollinating it, so I've got flowers on there so that we'll produce some, but not as many as I had last year. Cucumbers, no, nothing on these at the moment, but they're still flowering, so there's still chance for them. Most of the peas I dug up the other week. These ones here don't seem to be doing much, but I think it's just, like I say, the weather. While I'm here, I might as well just pick the few runner beans I have got. Can't see many, but that'll probably do a bit of dinner. Oh, there's another one there. I can't see many more. Oh, there's one up here. The trouble is they hide. Got a few runner beans that'll do a dinner. So, yeah. In here I've got tomatoes. Squashes are coming through. They are forming. The other side is more. I've got tomatoes on there. They just need to ripen off. I think the leaves might be in the way. Oh, there's quite a few tomatoes on this one. Didn't see them. Yeah, let's get them leaves out the way. Oh, there's a nice little squash there. That's coming along nicely. Look at that one. And these tomatoes is coming along. The squashes. Looks attached to me. Well, these ones are bigger. That's a bigger one. Look. There's quite a few on here actually. No one hiding under there. The funny shaped pumpkins are starting to go orange. Funny shape they are. Really weird. Oops. Got the round one there. That's only a tiny baby one, look. That's really small. Oops. But at least they're growing. And then the other ones that are like really gone long, which is, I've never seen them this shape before, pumpkin. Look at that one at the back there, look at the size of that. It's more like a big courgette come pumpkin. But oh, loads more. Well, another. Got another courgette here, big one. Just twist it and pull it off. That's a big one. So the asparagus, now I'm leaving it for the ferns to die, and then once they've gone brown I can then cut them off and feed the bed ready for next year. So I'm getting more and more each year, so which is good. The strawberries have sort of had their time now, so I might actually replace them next year, because they didn't really do a good crop this year, but they have been in there for some few years now, so I think it's time for me to now replace them. And the same as in here, I think I need to replace all of these strawberries. Look, I'm getting some raspberries. The raspberries are coming along now, so I'll get in there during the week and pick them. This bed, I've got, they're the parsnips, they're doing really well. Got a tomato plant here, but I've only got tiny little ones on there at the moment. And then my lettuces, I'm really pleased with these lettuces. They're iceberg. They're doing really well. I've never grown iceberg before. Obviously the outer leaves are a little bit brown, but I think it's just with the heat. Beetroots are probably ready to pick now. They look like they're getting... Oh, this one's a big one here. Look at that one up there. I think they can be picked. I've got more tomatoes at the back. More lettuces there, iceberg. And then carrots. So I think some of them they'll probably be ready to pick now. Let's get that weed out. That one. And then I've got some more tomatoes up this end, but they're only just starting to form. Little tomatoes. Right. Yep, just need to water. Oh, and one last thing I want to show is my grapevine, where I did hack at it. Right. If you look, whether they'll grow into a bunch of grapes, I don't know. Tiny little things up there. That's the only one that's on there. So I think I've got more of an idea of what to do next year. When it starts growing, just train a couple of branches along rather than let it get too out of hand. And then hopefully I'll get some more grapes next year. Okay, so I'm just going to check on the cauliflowers, and as I said earlier, I can see some of them getting bigger now, so I'm just going to, I've got my pegs, I'm just going to cover them over and tie the leaves up. So I've worked my way across. You see this one's forming here, so I'm just going to make sure there's no bugs in there, and then just get the leaves and sort of fold them all in together. And then the biggest ones, the outer leaf ones, just get my peg and make sure that they're all wrapped up and the sun's not going to get to the bit in the middle, and then just peg it so it's like a little parcel. That one's alright. This one's starting to form, so I'm going to do the same with this one. Fold that over and peg it. Right, hopefully they'll stay like that. That one's alright. This one's forming here, so just get the leaves. And fold them over. Peg it, just so that you've got mainly the two outer leaves pegged together. That one's okay at the moment. Yeah, that one's starting to form, but the leaves aren't very... I'll get the weed out. Oh, forgot my peg. That one's okay. That one's okay at the moment. They're done. This one's... Oh, that one's going funny colour, look. Something's got into that one. And that one there. Look. Something's eating it. No point in doing that one. Yeah, that's it. If you don't get to them quick enough, then they get eaten. That's alright, that's alright. This one's forming nicely. Alright, I've got quite a few leaves on this one. Come in. Alright. Yep. That one's done. That's done. There's no point in that one. I'll just quickly do this one because that one's looking like it's growing. Yeah. Right, I think that's that done. Oh, no, one more. I'm starting to form. There we go. And I'm in the cobweb. Right, that's that job done. Right, so I'm having to sit down for a minute, waiting for my water butt to fill up. Again, hope you've enjoyed looking around the plots. As I say, with this weather, a bit disappointing with some of the crops, but that's all part and parcel of the growing your own veg at home, I suppose. I don't know. You know, you can water it, but you can't guarantee the sun, how hot it's going to get. So yeah, I've lost a few crops, but hopefully another year, it might change. So at least I've got some crops, and courgettes are doing well, carrots are doing well. I'll be picking them soon. Parsnips seem to be doing all right. Runner beans are a little bit hit and miss at the moment, but if it cools down a bit, we might end up with some broccoli and cauliflowers. But lettuce is doing fab, considering they're like a very thin sort of crop. I'm surprised that they're actually growing still. But anyway, hope you've enjoyed looking and walking around my plot with me. So catch up with you again soon.